The blood-curdling cry pierces the stillness of the Kentucky night, echoing off the street trestles of the Poplick Trestle, a notorious railroad bridge steeped in local legend. But who hears this desperate plea for help? Tonight, we welcome back J.B. Kalagayan, the writer of the new graphic novel, The Goat, Poplick Creek Monster, a new cryptid adventure horror comic book with illustrations by Ethan Pope. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to I almost said the Cincinnati Cabinet of Curiosities podcast because it's been that long and we have the team all back. But this is the Hometown Haunts podcast. I am your very confused host, Kat Cloco, and along helping me on this ride and journey into the supernatural and strangeness are my friends Christina Wald and Jen Kohler.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. What's new, everyone? It's been a week.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Story of my life. Nothing.
Nothing. Jensen getting into trouble.
Little
are we leaping into
messed up again?
What happened?
His paw's messed up again.
Oh no! What's wrong?
It's swollen, and whatever he did to it, dumb cat.
That's a bummer. He had to go back to the vet for it?
Not yet. I'm waiting to see if it's gonna take care of itself, but it may not. So.
Oh. I'm sorry.
That's all right. He's a little shit. Sorry.
There you go. Our first.
Wow, watch it fly.
You just had
to hit the ground. It exploded. There's shit everywhere. Christina, how are you doing?
Oh, good.
You're busy.
Good. Yeah, I'm trying to get a couple book covers done this week. It's the typical perennial life of freelance artist. You know, when you sign a book contract, they're like, "Oh, well, can you have the cover next week?"
Yep.
So I'm working on that. And as far as news, obviously, we were talking about it before we started. The Art Academy show is going on right now, and it's got, I believe, 29 artists in it, and a lot of really great stuff. It was a really fun show. We did a panel discussion Friday, and then got to speak to students. And of course, there's the trip to Morocco. If people are interested in that, that's on my website. And I also finalized I'm going to have a solo show at Thomas More College in February that will have a mixture of, my storytelling, illustration work, and travelogue work, because I spent the weekend working. My friend Gordana came from Atlanta. She's the admin for the Atlanta chapter of Urban Sketchers, and she and I traveled around Argentina last year. And we're doing a travelogue. We're doing it kind of that 50 style science fiction story where you flip the book over and like it has two covers. So it's going to be a story told from two different points of view. So we were scanning in our sketchbooks and, talking about that. My favorite part of that, when we were actually on the trip in Patagonia, there was a picture of us standing in front of this sign, and the AI from Facebook said, "What are the most extreme hikes in Patagonia?" And I was like, we're two middle-aged ladies that weren't doing anything extreme. It kind of looked like
extremely flat would be nice.
I know. I think the most extreme thing we did was get some very bizarre meat platter at a restaurant there that had some very unidentified organ meats that we did not eat.
Ew.
Okay.
That was daring, but we didn't do any extreme hiking.
Good.
Well,
I warned her before we went. I said, I can't do, I like hiking, but I can't do, I'm not fit enough to do like these, extremely mountain climbing kind of things.
I'm just imagining you grabbing onto a boulder like, I could do this! And then like swinging. And we're like, I'll get there.
I know. They've got some pretty, I have some friends that did do some of the very extreme stuff, and that's cool, but unfortunately I think that time for me has passed.
Same. I never had that time in my life, so
Yeah, I
No.
don't think me either. You know, I've watched a lot of mountain climbing videos, and I know that I couldn't do it.
Ah, okay. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I trip over my own 2 feet. I can't even imagine trying to climb up a mountain, and I would be dead within 2 seconds. Well, maybe not, because I wouldn't get that far, and I just kind of fall on my butt. So who knows?
Ah, Jen will just become part of the missing 411.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
that's what will
Yes.
happen. All right. So just finishing our news segment. I will be at the 2026 Frogman Festival.
Woo!
It
Yay.
will be, I think, the third or fourth year. I have lost count, but it's really fun and I enjoy doing it. And with that, we talk about cryptids the rest of the evening with our friend Jay. Hi,
Yeah.
Jay.
Hi, Jay.
Um, a little bit about Jay. J.B. Kalagayan is a Filipino American creator and director of Creative Muscle, the indie publisher of Mest Comics, The Intrusion, The Filipino Assassin, The Untold Story of Vincent Manago. Did I get that right? Manago Hambright, Grassman's Ohio's Favorite Cryptid, Dr. Skintag, and St. Malo, and other creative projects. Creative Muscle, now in its ninth year, seeks to be a publisher that supports diverse artists, promotes creators, and makes untold stories accessible. Jay's work has been published with Corpse Flower Press. Hey, that sounds familiar. SoulCon Anthology through Ohio State University, Columbus Scribbler, the Xavier University Newswire, City Beat, and the World Toilet Organization. His works can be found at mestcomics.com. Welcome back to the show, Jay.
Hello, hello.
That paragraph has earned two more sentences, I think, since
I've
the
been
last
I've been
time
working hard.
you were
I've been
on the
working
show.
hard.
Yeah.
You were talking before. So is Cincinnati Academy Curiosity a cousin to Hometown Haunts, or is it a brother sister deal? What's up,
I
siblings?
think there's siblings because the
I would
podcast
say,
started because of the anthology, and
yeah.
we used to be the Cincinnati Cabinet of Curiosities presents Hometown Haunts, which was the podcast. But that is a mouthful, so we just shortened it to Hometown Haunts. But
Nice.
once in a while, when we have returning creatives like yourself, Jay, I fall back into the full thing because we've been doing this show for 5 years now. So it feels like it's gone by in a blink of an eye, but
Yeah.
it
Well, no,
rhymes.
you're blazing grounds in the podcast world, and I still have on my rack all 3 volumes of Cincinnati Cabinet of Curiosity, and it's always a regular seller everywhere I go, whether they're comic book shows, craft shows, and more importantly, the cryptid shows. They're loving them.
Yeah, people
Great.
are always wanting cryptids.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of this started with Lawrence Sparks' illustration of the Pope-like monster.
That's
I'm
such a
just
great drawing.
Yeah.
it's so I never put it away. It's always up behind me.
Is that the
So
original? No,
it
it's
is
the
the
digital.
original.
Oh,
It's the first run. It's a first run printing. It's not the original. Lauren, I believe, still has that.
well,
But
that's what happened. I think it was the second or third Frogman Festival, and I didn't have a table. I was hanging out with you. I was hanging out with Jen. I was hanging out. Christina, I think you popped in. I was hanging out with Tim Fuller with Sham Comics, also with Cabinet Curiosities, and I just had time to go to some panels and stuff. And I heard about the Goat Man, and I had Lauren's artwork in my head, and the idea just kind of took hooves and just took off. And that's some of the best parts of when you're creating, when you're writing, is when things can have a life of their own, and sometimes you can't stop it. You just have to keep writing and writing and writing.
exactly. Yeah, it just ran through your brain on those
Yeah.
little hooves for a
Yeah.
few years. These are hooves.
I will trample your brain until you let me out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Slash it with an axe. Yeah. So, for our listeners, since we've actually never dedicated an entire episode to just the Pope Lake monster, I think we had a very quick blink and you miss it bit when the first cabinet came out. So I wanted to just bring all of our listeners up to date as to who the Goat Man is. So the Goat Man, or also known as the Pope Lake Monster, is a cryptid that calls a particular trestle bridge in Louisville, Kentucky, its home. Using telekinesis or voice mimicry, it is said to lure victims to the bridge to their untimely fates, either by its acts or an unsuspecting oncoming train. Other stories claim that the Goatman will jump onto the roofs of cars or train cars coming and going from the bridge. The Pope Lick monster's origin story is quite mythical. Some stories say that it was an escaped circus performer who got away after the train carrying the circus derailed at the bridge. The Goat Man vowed revenge on all those who mistreated them and haunts it to this day. Another origin story is that the Goat Man is the twisted reincarnated form of a former local farmer who sacrificed goats for satanic powers. The Trestle Bridge has been a site for legend trippers around the Mid South. However, please keep in mind that it is an active working Norfolk Southern bridge with heavy freight trains passing through multiple times a day. There have been at least 5 deaths since 1988 from legend
Wow.
trippers who could not escape the bridge and were dispatched quickly by the train. And there is an 8-foot security fence, and Norfolk Southern says, please do not cross it. With that, we go into the story of the Poplick monster that you wrote, Jay.
And let me just tell you, that trestle is haunting. I was just there for the Goatman Festival, Popeline Creek Park, and I got to see it. And I got to see it at night in the fog. I was just like, what?
Awesome.
And
That is epic.
there's something, the iron, the stone. I don't know. It's fascinating. And so many people were at the festival, and they were just loving it. They were going there and having a good time. There was some haunted paths. There was like some movie nights, and it was. I've never been to the Mothman Festival, but I would assume that the Goatman Festival is a nice taste of it. It was all outdoors. It was we were in the middle of a soccer field and set up, and just talking to people about their experiences. It was wonderful.
Yeah, what I remember when I looked up the festival, that it happens in a public park,
Yeah.
and it's free to go to, and there's free parking. They're very, I won't say loud. They let you know when you get to the website. They're like, it's free admission and it's free parking. And I'm
Yes.
like, wow,
Absolutely.
Awesome.
living in Seattle, that's super attractive.
But they've got this like shelter area kind of thing where there's a store that sells cryptid stuff, which is really fun. And they have, well, bathrooms, yay. And
Yay!
they have a little like a little restaurant, like a stand, hot dogs, those kind of things. And they had some food trucks, and it was just a great 2 weekend. It was a Saturday and a Sunday this past October, and it was just really fun.
That sounds really fun to go to.
Louisville.
It was in Louisville.
Yep, Louisville, Kentucky.
I mean, that's such a charming town. I love it there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
It
somewhat
is.
similar to Cincinnati, but I love their old Louisville area. We went on a ghost tour there, and it was so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the trestle is located east of the city, isn't it?
I have not seen it, but I'll have to look at it next time.
Because
I'm looking at a map now. Yes.
okay, because I remember seeing when I visited the website that they had Goatman and Waverly Hill events where you could go on tours to do both, and I'm like, my ears are up. I am interested in this.
So that's what we're going to do next time you come to town, then.
I believe so. This is definitely
We're going to Louisville.
Yeah. Yep. So
Drink it bourbon.
You wrote a wonderful comic book. I enjoyed reading it. I read it way too fast, so I slowed down and read it a second time. And I really like Ethan's artwork too. How did you get connected with them?
So I used to be executive director of Cartoon Crossroads Columbus, a comic art and animation festival in Columbus, Ohio. And there's a good number of comic creators in Columbus. It's just kind of got this epitome with the Billy Ireland. It's a huge archive of cartoons, manga, and comic strips. It's got CCAD, they're the Columbus School of Design there, and there's just a lot of great comic creators. And Ethan's a graduate from CCAD. So I met him through working. He volunteered a little bit with CXC. We hit it off, and I came to him with the project. I really liked his work. He had a lot of kinetic work. He had a zine / comic about car chases. He had one about like a cowboy. So I was just like, oh yeah, this guy's perfect for the goat.
Yeah.
Like I said, I started working on the script, or just what I was thinking about as far as the proposal from that Frogman Festival, and the idea that Goatman is married, is almost bound to this trestle of iron and stone. And I wanted to see what could trigger that, but also what could separate him from that trestle. And so, in full respect to the legends, I am moving the story forward, kind of making it I have kind of an indigenous main character who is seeking redemption, and in the story rescues a cryptid little girl, one of the melon heads.
Yes.
I love that tie-in.
Yeah, I did.
Yes,
So
I
it's
did
got
too.
that lone wolf and cub kind of feel. And because the melon heads have these psychic powers, I feel like this is the opportunity for the goat to be separated from the trestle.
Yeah.
And because the trestle, because of the creek and the iron and the stone, I mean, it really hits some of those medieval things. It also is industrial. So I'm kind of I learned this when I was working at the Contemporary Arts Center with this artist was using water, and they had the theory that water has memory. And I'm kind of going along with those lines and creating this arcing cryptid story with the goat and Commandy, who's the melonhead little girl, and they're going to be going up the Ohio River.
Oh.
I thought it kind of had a nice emotional impact too, with the little girl and the, almost even a Stranger Things kind of vibe or something.
Yeah. I was gonna,
Oh.
after finishing this, Mike was like, how did you like it? And I'm like, people who love Stranger Things are going to really love this. This is a very good time to publish this series, because this is the final season of Stranger Things. People are going to want something. This is something to pick up afterwards.
It's gonna come out soon. It's gonna come out. It's been moved so many. Stranger Things has been moved so many times.
Yes, it has.
Well, the water thing's interesting because I think we've had a couple ghost stories recently from people and talking about entities that aren't actually tied to a person, but are the spirit, and that's sort of an Eastern thing, is spirit of the water and spirit of the land. And because I was thinking when we were just in Romania, there's these two rivers, and Ioana said that they're considered to be brothers. And I think that's an interesting sort of, would that be anthropomorphizing rivers or whatever? But it seems to be very deep in mythos, and I think that is really interesting, tied to your story and how you were talking about that one artist.
When I did my first Cabinet of Curiosity issue, I was going with the Guru cat. With all the different cryptids and everything, and it was the mermaids of the Ohio River. And I did that story with Dylan, and that was in the first issue of Cabinet Curiosities. And I really wanted to, well, let's say they'll probably end up in the goat comic book as well, because I mean we're going up the Ohio River, so we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. And with Mess Comics, that's the first comic I ever did, comic book that takes place in the sewers. Just profound connection to water and flow. So yeah.
Is this seems to be a connection with Mest, like a theme? You really like flowing water.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
So how many?
Also along those themes is just you brought it up because when I was talking to you, oh my gosh, what was that restaurant we used to meet at the Cincinnati Comic Creators? It was
Well, there was Brew House.
yeah, it was the Brew House. We were talking in the back room of Brew House. That sounds scarier than it was. It was really nice and safe. But we were in the back room. We were doing Cincinnati Comic Creators, and you and I were talking. And admittedly, a lot of the cryptid legends I really didn't feel belonged to people of color. And I really kind of wanted to embrace that. So when I did the Mermaids of the Ohio River, the mermaids that were spotted in Vevey, Indiana, I wanted to use their timeline and kind of combined it with the Underground Railroad and runaway slaves. And so the origin of those mermaids were the mysticism of the African slaves that were being chased by slave hunters. So
kind of putting the original story on its head in a way.
Or not.
It was a part of the sensational journalism of the 1890s, and it was kind of coded that it was about runaway slaves, but which I like how you took it and went, well, let's take this and reframe it in a different light and really recapture or take back the story. Yeah, I really liked that. And I've actually noticed that because of that story, and it seems to be popular enough, and we've gone to enough cryptid or paranormal events, that the original mud term associated with them has been dropped. And a lot of people just call them the mermaids, the Ohio River mermaids. And I think that is from really, Jay, your story. And we've reframed, we've actually changed, or you've actually changed how that story is retold now.
Yeah, I had the idea and I thought it was perfect, but then you and I had a long conversation about, can we drop the mud part?
Yeah.
Because it was just an inherently racist term.
Yeah, and in the original cover, the mock-up colors for it, the mermaid was brown. And I was like, nope, we're changing that immediately. I was like, no. And we went with green instead with yellow tinges to make it look more mossy.
Yeah.
And it was, I'm impressed. You managed to change legend, Jay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it's just
and now you're just adding to the Poplik monster mythos.
Yeah.
So with the goat, so will there be more issues of this goat comic then?
Absolutely.
Okay, because for some
We're
reason I thought this
going
was
up the Ohio River.
Okay, so how many issues do you think it will be, or do you know, or are you just going to let it kind of take its course on its own?
Christina, how dare you ask me that?
I know. It's a tough question. It's not an easy.
I've got the framework, and I've also got the other cryptids I want to work with. Really, with the melonheads, their powers have just awoken a lot of I'm going to say things, sentient beings, along their path when they were captured. So the next issue, Ethan is going to have here. I'm letting it out. You got the news. You got the
exclusive. This is a Hometown Haunts exclusive.
It's going to be Ethan Pope's art, of course, and it's going to be Goat versus Mothman.
Oh,
in the forests of Kentucky.
I'm going to. That's really one. I really like that. Two, you're going to get a lot of people super curious.
Absolutely.
And I do want to get back to the melon heads and how they're depicted in the comic. But have you ever heard of the Enfield horror?
Which one's that one?
By the look on your face, you don't know. Okay. It is in Illinois, and it is. We did an episode about it a few years ago. And essentially, it is a cryptid reported. It started reported in Enfield, Illinois, in April of 1973. It has 3 legs, a dog-sized creature with glowing pink eyes, short arms, and gray hairy skin. And I was Oh, very beautiful. The most gorgeous of cryptids. And when you were saying that you wanted to go up the Ohio River, and I'm like,
Uh,
at some point you got to encounter Illinois. And
well,
if
I'd
you
say
get
upstream.
up,
So sorry.
oh, well, Enfield horror can still be in there. It's
Yeah.
not well known, or it is well known, but it's kind of fallen out of favor for Mothman and Frogman. But I just love how this little tripoded thing runs around all of the Mid South, and
Love it.
so just put it in for like 2 pages for me at
So
some
you've got a
point.
request.
Yeah,
Well, what's amazing about these great regional creatures, these great regional stories, is they're not they're not owned by anyone. They're not
Nope.
even public domain. They were never owned by anyone to begin with. So I would hate to see if anyone actually tried to copyright any of this. I
Or
would not
trademark.
like that.
yeah, no,
I don't
and they
think they
evolve.
could.
I don't
Unless
know.
I mean, you could obviously copyright your comics, but the lore
Oh, yeah.
itself, how could you? I mean,
No.
it's all word of mouth.
Yeah,
no, Kim Kardashian can try and copyright kimono. So
Did she succeed in that?
no,
I
no.
didn't think
no.
so.
It was
But
like Paris Hilton
tried.
also tried It's Hot at one
Yeah.
point and also failed.
Yeah.
But I like the addition of the melon heads, and the way they're portrayed in the comic is not how they've ever been depicted before emotionally.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that. It had kind of Akira vibes,
Ah.
Yeah.
honestly. And I liked it. Like, you feel really like you care for the melon head girl that is depicted in the comic. And I do look forward to seeing how their adventures basically. Also, the panel where she mind melds with the goat man
Yeah.
is epic. It is
Oh
so
my
good.
God.
Star
You
Trek.
write these things, and then you have a great artist like Ethan Pope draw it, and then he sends you thumbnails, and then he sends you near finished pages, and you're like, what?
Yeah. Like, how did he come up with that? That was, I think I read through the book 3 times. The first was the general read, the second was more introspective, and the third was just to look at the art.
Okay.
And that was the super slow read through. I think it took me 40 minutes to go through, because
Wow.
I'm just like, I'm looking at wondering how he designed everything, how he illustrated it. Was it by hand on paper and pen? Did it do it through the computer or something? Lots of questions. And I really love the black and white with I won't call it zipatone, but screen tones.
Yeah.
It almost looks like Halftone Hospital's screen tones, to be honest, just to be a
He
nerd
knows
about
them,
it.
so he might have heard that.
Yeah.
Actually, that'd be good to find out.
Yeah.
We had to tweak a little bit because we wanted to make sure that the Cherokee language that's in the book was accurate. So
Mhm.
we were honestly trying to find some advisors on the book, and we found a couple great ones who really we appreciate their time and everything. So they would just they wanted to confer and check it. The book actually could have come out a little bit earlier, but we just wanted to make sure we treated these kind of aspects with respect.
Mhm.
That's smart.
And with respect and accuracy, as accurate
Yeah.
as so because it's not only the language, but as Ethan adapts the language into the art, it flows so well. I mean,
Mhm.
and that I'm turning the goat, despite the origins that you mentioned, I'm using it a little bit more, I believe, as a kind of a curse or as a state of being.
Mhm.
And the character is an actual historic character named in Kalatonga, who is a Cherokee chief, and according to what I've read, kind of infamous and a little bit of a Cherokee Rasputin, because he
Wow.
was assassinated, and it's like you hear Rasputin. The same thing was that in Kalatonga, he was like assassinated, and then he escaped. He was like half dead, and then they killed him again. And I mean, it's just like what?
Wow.
So so it's that redemption story that we're going for. And if you look at the goat and our rendition of him, he has some of those elements. And this and also, if you have a huge goat creature on a train trestle, do they really need an axe? I mean, like,
Yeah.
why? Just give them an axe, just in case. There's train, there's no railing, you have horns, and yet let's have an axe. So it's we have it more as like a tomahawk kind of feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I sometimes wonder how much the Goatman legend from Louisville grew up with the Goatman, I think is also in Texas. And
there's a couple of goats.
There's a cup. Yeah, and then there's also Bunnyman, just to throw in a different animal. But they all Bunnyman Bridge. But they all carry axes, and I think
Even
I know
Bunnyman?
Even Bunnyman. And
one of the had an axe. Oh, wow.
One of the kind of hypotheses that folklorists have is axes at one point were ubiquitous in homes. It didn't matter where you lived and who you were, you had an axe somewhere in your house to chop firewood. And because of that, it was also seen to scare anybody. It unified everyone with their domestic fear of an axe and just being thwacked by one. Plus, in the early 1900s, you had a lot of axe murders that happened across the mid-south to the west of the United States, and they go unsolved to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Does Villisca sound familiar? So I think that's why Goatman has an axe, but I like how you've elevated it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, I think that came natural to what I was doing with the character and moving the legend forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just looking at it over again.
I'm excited to see the future episodes or issues of it, because I think that you could weave a lot of. I was thinking of Eerie Appalachia, which is the book friend of the show Mark wrote, and his talk about the holler and different families having different monsters, and I mean that could be kind of a whole thread too going up the river.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I already have it in my head what I'm going to do with the 7175 bridge. Yeah. There's a lot of, I would say, because that bridge had so many problems and it needed updating or replacing, I think that, and they were trying to force politicians to do something about it. They created a lot of, I don't want to say fear, but every time I cross that bridge, I feel like holding my breath or something. It just stresses me out. And I think just this past year or maybe 2 years ago, the lower deck, the one that goes into Cincinnati, there was some sort of crash or something. And there was a fire. And it was, in essence, a pizza oven. They said the temperature was 1,000 degrees or something like that. It was really hot.
Really?
And it was literally a pizza oven. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to use that bridge.
Yeah. It was between the motorists that have died on that bridge and then also the multiple semis that have either run into the different support beams or, like you said, made the pizza oven on the lower deck. It's just like, Mothman's going to visit. It's going to be the Silver Bridge part 2.
He'll be back for that issue.
Oh,
yes.
God, let's hope not.
So, this is an interesting question about these types of mythos in general, because I remember there are all these crybaby bridges too. Why are bridges so typical for settings for these different types of myths, whether it be a cryptid or is it because there's a lot of emotion associated with them, people jumping off them, tragedies happening on them? Why are they such focus points for these? How many crybaby bridges did he say there was?
Well, I mean, they didn't finish the bridge during the Civil War, not the 7175 bridge. I'm talking but they didn't finish the bridge back then, and that was a dividing line between the North and the South. I mean, bridges are signs of industry. They're signs of achievement, but they're also a sign of the tragedies that come with industry and with people uh, coming to take over and farm and just destroy.
Mhm.
That's true. People die building a lot of these bridges too.
Oh my God, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, they're such great achievements, and they're in the middle of the river, and you're just like, what? And oh
Yeah.
gosh,
It always amazes me seeing bridges that are like, what's the bridge that goes to Key West that looks like
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
floating on the ocean?
oh yeah, that's
mean-
nerve-wracking.
How do you get down there? I mean, obviously there's ways, but it's fascinating to me that people actually did that, you know?
Mhm.
Well, when they did the Brooklyn Bridge, which is related to one of the bridges in Cincinnati,
Mhm.
they developed all sorts of like underwater techniques just to even create that
Mhm.
bridge. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
our
Yeah.
bridge was the prototype for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
I know.
Roebling.
Yeah.
I love that bridge. It's so pretty. I love
like
the
that
Roebling
bridge.
Bridge. Yeah.
I'm scared of that 7175 one.
Yeah, I try to
Not
avoid
so
it
much
at
the
all
Brent
costs.
Spence, you're saying.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry. Thanks. Yeah.
Well, there was a-
471 since it caught on fire a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I
I think
know.
that last year.
Yeah,
think
yeah.
so.
For,
Was
it
it last
happened
year?
last fall.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's a main artery. I mean, if that bridge
Yeah.
if anything ever happens to that bridge, or if even gets blocked, I mean, good God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I know the Roebling Bridge had a sea serpent scene swimming under it for a few times, and there was also sea monsters seen driving. Oh, geez, no, swimming up the Ohio River.
You talking
towards
about Octoman?
Chillicothe. No, Octoman is in Newport and Covington.
Yeah, but
So-
still the Ohio River. But yeah.
Yeah. That one's fun too.
I know. You'll
no,
see
it's so
cameo of that too.
Yay!
I'm having fun actually working with characters that have history. Working with Mess Comics, the sewer comic book. I mean, it's my own creation. I have to introduce it to everybody, that kind of thing. But it is kind of fun. It's almost like the unofficial, like you get the right Spider-Man, or you get the right Captain America or Batman. These are like the ones that indie press can really embrace and have some fun with. And I think just try and do different things. I think is really important.
Yeah. You're expanding the story.
Yeah.
Because you can get bored of the same story from the same cryptid over and over and over again.
Right.
Yeah.
So I like how you're bringing them into a different light and reframing their stories. Like,
Mhm.
We're doing a anthology book. It's okay to bring up another book, right?
it's fine.
Oh
Good.
God, no. I know. We
Well,
don't want to know.
It's featured in Cincinnati Cabinet of Curiosity 3. It's the Ohio Grassman, and I'm having a lot of fun when I go to a lot of these cryptid cons where I present it as a kind of yin and yang. The goat obviously is your adventure horror kind of book, and on the opposite end is our take on Grassman, Ohio's favorite cryptid. And in that book, Grassman, because of his name, is hired by the marijuana companies to represent them. He uses the money to buy a nature preserve. He does slam poetry with a different Mothman, with Mothman. And then he even houses rude endangered species like the Allegheny wood rat. So
Awesome.
it is just so much fun. And Kat, you contributed
Yes.
an essay as well as a couple of the cartoons, which are great. Did you do the only you can prevent gender reveal forest fires? Yeah.
Yes, that was mine. That one was a lot of fun.
I will read that script and I'll be like, I'll read your cartoons. I was like, who the hell came up with that? And I was like, oh shit, I did. That's part two. Sorry about that.
Well, you wrote it in like the peak of when different state parks were catching on fire because of rogue gender reveal parties.
Oh, it's
I'm
so
like,
good.
just stick with a cake, people. Why do you need to make it
I had a lot of
flamboyant?
fun. Kevin Necessary created. I had the idea, but he gave it life. I created the Buckeyes, and they do 4-wheelers through the paths, and they're tearing up all the woods and everything. So that was really fun to work with Kevin on that one. So yeah, so they're the yin and yang. You got a little bit of the humor with Grassman, but then you have your adventure horror. So they like seeing that juxtaposition, and again, moving the legend forward. I'm accepting all the and honoring all of the stories beforehand, but moving it forward.
Yeah.
That's cool. What's cool. So what is on what is next for you? Are book 2 of the Goat series and more mess?
Book two of the Goats. Ethan's working on it right now. The Goat versus Grassman, or Goat versus Mothman, and then but before that, we'll come out with a new Grassman book, which will come out on we had to 420.
Yeah, that's
come
natural.
out on 420.
I love it.
I would expect nothing less.
But it
I
might
really
become
enjoyed
illegal
Grassman.
again. I guess marijuana might become illegal again. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I heard
I've been
about that.
seeing those reports, and I'm going, what will happen to Jay's book?
I'll still do the book. I'm not
Well, you
doing
can still
anything
do the
illegal.
book. I mean, they always had the fabulous Furry Freak Brothers, and it
Oh,
was illegal
that's true.
then.
That was one of my
That's
favorite.
true.
That's one of my fave books. My brother collected those.
They're
And
great. They're so
I was
funny.
going through his drawers, and I was like, found all his comics. I was like, "What? What is this?" And I was just
I have
doing
a soft spot
Avengers.
for Fat Freddy's cat.
Oh yeah, and then I do like Avengers and Captain America books, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing Fat Freddy's cat and the Furry Freak Brothers. That was mind expanding, literally.
Yeah. So I mean, I think you're allowed to do comics about them. It just may be harder for people to get them. To get to the drugs
merchandise
or
to go with the comic.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is that.
And I'm
get
having
the
fun
full
because the
experience.
human cast is pretty diverse.
Yeah.
From Black characters, Asian characters, and just really just trying to show almost everyday life can have diversity in it and everything like that. And really just, I didn't think I mean, Mess Comics has a lot of ecological angle to it, and that just really crossed over well with Grassman and the idea of capitalism, the fact that like he's taking all this money and he's just buying land and making it a nature preserve outside of Shawnee State Park. I mean, I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know.
Where could we see you next? What conventions are you going to?
Let's see. I will be at Crafty Supermarket.
Is that next weekend?
Cincinnati. That would be recording versus airing. Yes, this weekend. I'm going to say that. Yes.
The weekend of Thanksgiving.
And I just got back from Cryptid Con in Lexington, and it was really successful. No,
Yeah.
sorry, I just recording humor versus premiere humor, and then I will be in New Orleans in January. I'm going to be premiering our new book, Saint Malo. Saint Malo.
Yes!
Wow, excellent.
Yes!
Saint Malo.
Finally!
It's about the first Filipinos in North America. I do a historic fiction angle on it. So the first Filipinos, the first Asians in North America were Filipinos. Mm-hmm. They arrived in California in the 1500s. And then by the 1700s, some of them escaped Spanish rule and they settled a village outside of Lake Bourne, outside of New Orleans in Lake Bourne. And they created a stilt, they didn't have bamboo, so I don't know how they did it, but they have a stilt village right on the lake. And I'm kind of taking a American Gods kind of approach that sometimes in the land of the free, you bring your own baggage. So they're being haunted and hunted by their own religion, their own folklore, those kind of creatures.
Wow, that's cool.
Okay.
It's so good.
And who's the
I'm
artist?
excited.
The artist is Fairwind out of Portland. I met Fairwind. I met them at GalaxyCon Columbus, of all places. And I really like their work. So they did a lot of kaiju work, Godzilla's. Mm-hmm. But what I love when I see kaiju work is the detail. Like, there's Godzilla and all the scales. Like, I love the work there. So I had to work with them, and they did a fantastic job. We're laying out the book now, and it's fantastic. It's probably one of the largest books. It's probably about 20. It's going to be like 34, maybe 38 pages, something like that. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you did an edit round for me. Thank
I
you.
did. It is a very good story. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. It's a good horror story. There's a lot of suspense.
Oh,
So,
yay.
yeah.
That's excellent. Can't wait to read it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that creature, the creature in that book is I'm trying to figure out. I'm prepping myself for other interviews to say it. Mananangol, and it's a Filipino folklore creature that splits in half. It's a vampire in its way. It splits in half. It leaves its bottom half safely behind him, and then flies off, trailing its entrails through the night
Ugh.
sky.
Wow.
I know, right?
How did that get started?
It's very visceral.
I'm not going to say Filipino folklore is scarier, darker than other folklore, but I would put it in the top 5.
Yeah.
I would put it in the top 3, honestly. It's just, I think they had each tribe, each village had its own beliefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Catholicism and the Spanish came in and really effed it up.
Yeah.
Really just injected a little bit more worseness to it. I swear to God.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it ruins everything.
Yeah. But some of my favorite, I guess you can say, like, I don't want to call them yokai because that's a bad thing to call anything Filipino. Spirits, ghosts, ghouls that you can have come from Filipino culture because they're just so visceral. Like you got pieces of them hanging off of of their bodies, like we just described.
They're always eating the dead or babies.
Eating the
like,
dead. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
We have this other book that came out this year. It's called Dr. Skin Tag.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Skin Tag is about a Filipino aswang, Filipino vampire.
Yeah.
And they're working for a skin tag clinic where they're removing skin tags off of people before Christmas. And this Filipino vampire, this Filipino aswang, eats skin tags to survive.
Ew.
And because we publish in black
factor.
and white, we're allowed to have a color cover, color back cover, and color inside cover. So for those, I made sure to have color photos of actual skin tags.
Gross, Jay. Just gross.
Right?
I love it.
So
it kind of reminds me of All Real Monsters, but taking it up a notch.
Yes. Oh my
Or
God, I
horrible
love that
histories.
Yeah.
Well, it's Rylan Jose out of Chicago, a Filipina artist, and she just excels at body horror. I swear, that's amazing. And then it comes from I was inspired by this. I had a skin tag near my eye, and I didn't want to get it removed because near my eye.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was doing Cincinnati Comic Expo allergy season or something. I was rubbing my eye. This patron comes up to me and he's like, you're bleeding.
Oh,
and I was like, what?
you
And
rubbed it off.
I had streams of blood coming down.
Oh my gosh.
So I ran to the restroom. I got cleaned up. It clotted. It was fine. But yeah, a chunk of the skin tag came off.
Yeah.
I don't know what. It wasn't arterial, but it was a lot of blood.
Well, you got a lot of little vessels and stuff up there.
Yeah, we have a lot of veins in our.
Oh my gosh! So it was just flowing. I was like, "Oh my God, what the hell?"
Apparently, according to the medical people I know, you can probably just pull them off yourself, like you did.
Yeah,
but then you have consequences.
There's a lot of nerves there. There's a lot of nerves.
Boy, this is taking an ooky turn.
I do not like that.
Where's the disclaimer on Jen's advice, medical advice? Where's the disclaimer?
Yeah, don't pull them off, people.
We're not medical professionals. We're writers and
we've got from goats to pimple popper.
Yeah,
or Jen at Hometown Haunts told me to pull off my skin tags.
Just meet a vampire that eats skin tags. It's better than your blood, right? Actually,
there's still blood in there.
Right?
I know.
Like popcorn.
But that's actually beneficial to you. Doesn't kill you.
Jay, now the next time I see somebody with a skin tag, I'm going to go like popcorn when I see them.
And that's one of the first stories that I got to tell that takes place in the Philippines. I've only been to the Philippines twice, and I didn't want to do too many stories that take place there. I wouldn't feel genuine doing that. But that one totally needed to take place in the Philippines.
Yeah.
It just works that way.
Yeah.
What's it like over there? I've never been there either.
Oh, it's
I would
absolutely
love to go.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous. I love the Philippines. But there's a lot of corruption. I mean, you'll see it in the news right now. These typhoons have really just torn it up.
Oh no.
But there was not sufficient infrastructure in place to even help the people, and that's what all the taxes and all the payments were for. And corruption. A lot of people are just stealing that money.
Oh. Which leaves them in lurch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But on a positive note, it has a really big comics community.
That's
Comics
amazing.
with a K.
Yeah.
Comics with a K. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I know a few fellow Filipino artists, and they also contribute a lot to Clip Studio Paint.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, with a lot of the assets creation and stuff. So I'm just like, oh, cool. Yeah.
So you've become like a publishing mogul.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have.
I mean, that's a lot of books in a year.
Yeah, my 10-year plan is break even. I don't know.
Right? That's like the most you could hope for anymore nowadays.
I know things are getting more expensive. Things are getting more expensive. Printing is getting tough.
Yes, it is.
I think that I can't believe that Mess Comics next year will be the 10th anniversary of Mess Comics.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Are you doing anything special?
We're gonna release the latest chapter, volume 4, chapter 2. We're gonna collect there's a great artist here, Clint Basinger. He did Messenger, which is an Akka story. Akka is the pet rat of Lilliput, the main character, and we're going to collect that into one large comic.
Cool. Nice. Okay.
We'll have some prints and everything like that, but so it'll be a nice celebration of the 10th anniversary.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So,
you have a party?
Oh yeah, we gotta have a party.
Yeah.
I just need when you're all in town at the same time. Good Lord.
Hey, I don't leave. I'm always here.
I usually stay with Jen. Yeah, Christina, you're the one that I can fly.
Make no promises.
So
I'm
gonna have to steal your passport. I'm gonna have to lock up your passport so you can't leave.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But where can people find your stuff, Jay? If they want to buy a copy of Goat, which I really urge people to do and encourage people to do.
You can go to messcomics.com. That's our website. And you'll go to our Ko-fi site, and that's Ko-fi at Creative Muscle. And then you'll be able to buy Goats, pre-order Saint Malo, Dr. Skin Tag, and Grassman.
Yes.
Excellent.
Creative Muscle, by the way, is a brilliant name for a publishing company. Whenever I see it, I'm like, I love the logo. I'm like, such good choices. So.
Well, I mean, it actually branches out of Mest because Lilliput, who's the main character, Fat Mucket, Sandshell, they're all the names of freshwater mussels.
Oh, really? No, I did not know that.
That's where all those fun names came from. I was working at the museum center, and they have a nature preserve that they work with, and they have this display of all these freshwater mussels, and they had the names of all these beautiful shells, and I was like, oh my god, these names are so unique, so interesting, and so I just took so many pictures, and I think that's just a fun way to just reinforce that they're filter workers, they're sewer workers.
That is so cool.
Such a cool connection. Well, I think it's getting late.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you, Jay, for joining us tonight and sharing us your story, the Goatman story. If you like the stories and would like to follow the show, you can find us at Hometown Haunts page on Facebook, Hometown Haunts _podcast on Instagram, and on Blue Sky at hometownhaunts.bsky.social. And you can find Jay's work at messcomics.com, and please follow and like it as well. It's awesome. It's all awesome. So thank you, everyone. Happy hauntings.
Bye.